And welcome back, everybody, to another episode of the Always Pressing PGA DFS podcast to preview the 2025 Valspar Championship at Innisbrook Country Club. We'll recap the players as well, which was a fun one, and much, much more. But before we do that, you can find me on Twitter at BDentric, the podcast at Always Press DFS, and my co-host, as always, on Twitter at DFS Golf Gods. Jesse, how are we doing, my friend?
I'm great, dude. It's March. It's playoff time in the TGL.
Yes, it is.
Big matchup tonight, so looking forward to it.
Yes, big matchup tonight. Who's playing?
LA and New York. I mean, the
So
two
Atlanta-
biggest fucking cities in the country, dude.
Well, because that means Atlanta and the Bays tomorrow. I knew the matchups. I just forgot who was in it. So, give me at least half credit. Like, I knew who was playing who, which is a big step for me in this one. Who do you got?
We're on LA minus. I got them. I think minus 120 earlier. They're up to minus 130 on DraftKings Sportsbook.
Minus 130. He's going to parlay LA and the Bay, or what are we doing?
That's probably not a bad idea. I haven't done that yet.
Okay, this is coming from this guy. Just remember, so I don't know
plus
bad ideas.
30. So yeah, we'll do that too.
Parlay that, and see, have some fun with some TGL. And if you lose, if somehow LA loses, we just hammer the Bay on
right.
On
correct.
Tuesday.
Yeah, because the Bay's not losing even without El Capitan.
Yeah, who has literally been the best player in the, which is weird. But if anybody can screw this up, and can you just imagine the memes that get created would be Billy Ho if he somehow finds a way to screw this whole thing up with Atlanta.
It wouldn't surprise me a bit.
No, his meme game, him and Glover. Oh my goodness! Like if Glover really wants to make this feel authentic, he starts sweating through his clothes. But I will tune in. I'll put it on as background fodder as I'm doing something in my office. But I am curious to see how the playoffs go, to see if they mix it up at all, or if there's any intensity, because the Jupiter Lynx are gone and a couple other bad teams like Boston Common. The two creators are not even in the playoffs, which is ironic to this thing. Not to mention, we haven't talked because we were off last week. LT Gray may never see a PGA Tour event like of relevance in ever again.
Yeah. I mean, it's that you're probably. I mean, at his age, at our age, you're looking at year and a half
at least
rehab. You think off of an Achilles? I mean, I'm assuming that he tore it. I didn't see the details.
I think I saw in-depth procedure is what I saw. So that tells me a torn.
That doesn't sound very good. I mean, that sucks, dude. I mean, it's been one thing after another with him. And unfortunately, that last car wreck really, I think, derailed any type of us seeing him back in any kind of 2019 form ever again. And then now, just something else to add on top of that. So yeah, it's really just sucks.
Because the biggest thing is he might be able to do this, that, or the other. I don't see him ever being able to walk for 4 rounds of golf again. That's just not going to happen. So thus, the Champions Tour, we get to use golf carts, 3 rounds. I think that could. I just don't know if his ego will allow that to happen, but it'd be fun just watching him trash talk like Freddie Couples and stuff, who he's buddies with. Like that.
I think most likely we'll just see him on TGL, and that's it.
Yeah, sadly, I think you are right, but we'll see. Might be the end of Tiger, unfortunately. Thoughts on the players, where we saw a definite wave advantage for the third straight tournament. It feels like PMAM just dominated without even really any major weather the first day. It's just stuff dried out and the course played nicer, I guess. So we had that go, and then we had just pure insanity on Saturday. A little bit more insanity, but the rain kind of stopped it from getting out of control on Sunday, and then the 3-hole playoff on Monday, where Rory McIlroy took home his second championship of the season. And I saw a tweet by Justin Ray. This is the first time in Rory's career he's won 2 tournaments on the U.S. soil before the Masters in his entire career.
Did you know he's never won in April?
That is insane.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, they've done some different stuff with which I think are good, which I think are good things with the stadium course to make it more difficult. It's a really fun golf course to just watch, just from the tee boxes. It's so cool to just see what Pete Dye envisioned at that place, because the bunkers and it's just a beautiful place in my opinion. But and it's got one of the best 3-hole stretches closing stretches in golf, and was evidenced by the playoff that we got. But I thought Rory should just won it, especially when he's 3 up. Spawn played really well on the back 9. on Sunday to kind of make it a tournament. But Rory had 2 bunnies that he just completely whiffed on and almost missed that. I'm sure you
On
saw
18, dude. I had the tweets ready to fly. I just got so much fun with that. I was like, here we go again. I'm thinking it. I'm staring at my TV, standing up, and I'm like, he's gonna do this again, isn't he? This is US Open all over again, or PGA, whatever it was. I'm like, this is happening.
I mean, that's a tough 2-putt from where he was. He shouldn't have never put himself there when he's in the middle of the damn fairway. He should have gotten the ball back closer to the hole off the second shot, but he's there on the front of the green. That's a tough 2-putt. He hits it pin high, just is 3 or 4 feet left or whatever. And yeah, I mean, the hole just swallowed it somehow. I thought he missed it whenever at first I thought it was going to lip out. But anyways, and then I'm sure you watched today as well. You said you watched at least the second half.
I saw.
Thing was,
basically saw Spawn find the drink, and
the thing was over after Rory hit his first tee ball on 16. I mean, that's just otherworldly the way he hit that tee shot. Spawn's in the rough, and actually, I mean, he got a great break to get it over the water and get it up in that bunker. It's a terrible bunker shot. Rory's in the middle of the green, almost 3 putts that one. You can't make it up. And then 17, yeah, it's just unfortunate that JJ thought he had a good club, and obviously it was one too many because Rory was hitting a 9-iron. He looks over, sees Rory's hitting a 9. Well, I probably should hit an 8. Rory's not hitting a full 9. Rory's hitting a flighted 9-iron that he knows is going to go 140 yards.
Yep.
But that's part of golf, man. Part of golf.
What's pretty weird, maybe Spawn did, I don't know. No one mentioned it because he didn't win, but I was watching some of the stuff after the fact from the people on site there, and they were showing Rory, practice on the range, and he was basically hitting it almost backwards. He's basically taking all the different shots, and he purposely said his last 3 shots were the island green shot. He wanted to be honed in from this, and I think it's looking back, that's what you should do. That makes it's the most important shot of the entire 3-hole stretch, basically.
Right.
This is it. So I really want to know what Spawn did in warmups. I don't know if we'll ever get that answer, but if he says he did, I know if I'd be tripped from Barstool if I'm out there trying to hit that shot. I'm all over that thing. But as a professional, it's they talk about the guy that marks the ball on the green, and it's he has to come back Saturday morning to putt. So you practice that putt 50,000 times.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm practicing that 140-yard island green shot at least my last 5 shots, probably.
Yeah, I don't disagree with you. I mean,
that's the one shot I'm making sure I am comfortable hitting when I leave that driving range.
It's in the same spot. The tees and the hole are in the same spot as yesterday. Yep. The wind is different. It's in your face instead of behind. Yep. Otherwise, you got to hit. So you got to factor that in a little bit. What's it blowing into? So how far do I need to hit this? And you got a track man. Every single one of them has a track man.
Yep.
So figure it out.
I'd have that dialed in, dude.
I'm with you on that,
the only excuse I'd have is if there was nerves, but using the wrong club isn't a nerves thing. That's just you didn't have it planned out. That's my only question. And I shouldn't critique a pro. They're going to kick my ass any day of the week out there. But if I'm a pro,
that's what we're here to do.
I'm doing this. But also if I'm a pro, I'm doing these things.
Right.
That's just one you don't do. Now, if you pull it or you did this or that, okay, shit happens. But you at least have the right club in hand, knowing this is what I'm hitting from the tee box.
Right. I'm with you.
That's a bit of the concerns. When that went in the drink, I was like, wow. I get missing fairways or something because that happened all week. Happened all week out there. So.
I thought he hit it perfect because he hits it. He hit it pretty high and it was cutting back into him. Oh, this is going to be really good. It's going to catch that slope and kind of feed down. No, just touch them all, man. Home run, buddy.
Yeah, just basically we're going. It's back, gone. Someone needs to get a Chris Berman call on that one real quick and throw it out there on the socials.
9-iron may have been too much, but I don't know. It just was. 9-iron probably hits obviously 10, 15 yards shorter, but still, it's just wild. But yeah, I'm happy for Rory. I'm a Rory McIlroy fan. It helps whenever I bet him on Sunday. Whenever whenever I first started paying attention, because they had the early start, so I didn't wake up when I slept in and woke up and he was 3 under through 3 or whatever. I was like, oh shit, and he was still plus money at that point. I was like, well.
Yeah, smart move on your part.
Yeah,
smart move on you. Even if that doesn't hit, that's at the moment, that's good.
You're gonna be plus money against the rest of these guys. Look at the rest of this leaderboard.
Yeah, it was bad. Like Cantley's the only name people would know. Like us, we knew all the names, but like
Right.
for the average fan, if they turned it on, they're like, "Who? Bud
Yeah.
Cauley
Yeah.
and
Right.
Alex Smalley?" Like
Tom
I
Hoge.
like playing these guys at like
Right.
7,400, but
Akshay. Who's this guy?
yeah,
Lucas
he should
Glover. That guy's
should
45 years old.
Dude, dadgummit. Yeah, it was like I as a idiot golf fan, like it's a fun looking leaderboard here. The average fan tuning in, if Rory's not on that leaderboard, I don't think anybody's watching NBC on Sunday. I'll tell you that much. That thing got turned off real quick.
Yeah.
But yeah, to ask you then, since you are a Rory fan, you say, what's your thoughts on stealing the cell phone?
Yeah, it's just tough. Because I've seen people call him a bitch, and I get that, but I also get the perspective of like you're getting harassed. So I mean, it was just a really weird way to go about that because all you got to do is just hey security guy, he's gone, and he's gone. You don't take the dude's phone.
Which he
I
did
don't.
after the fact anyway. So like,
Yeah, I know.
why are you taking his
That's what I'm
phone?
saying. Like you don't have to do both. You can just do one. And it was bizarre, dude. I don't know. Rory, obviously is in a weird mental spot, and that may stem from a lot of things last summer. But he's not putting up with any shit. I'll tell you that.
No, he's not. That was just one of those. At first, I thought it was like, okay, it's coming up from like that. I saw it on the nuclear. I'm all, that's got to be fake. It's got to be fake. And then it just kept coming up everywhere. I'm like, oh, jeez, he actually took a dude's phone. Not to mention, we find out the dude is like a semi-pro, like collegiate athlete. That's like, it wasn't some slapdick like me running out there going like 7 beers deep.
Bob does sports.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was just bizarre as hell. I've never seen
was
it
weird.
like that. I've been to a lot of practice rounds and never seen one of those.
No.
But all right, any other thoughts on the players? You got your typical miscut, Carnage. You got some other goodies. Anything else before we talk Valspar?
I got nothing. Let's move on.
All right, let's go to Valspar. Like I said, Innisbrook Country Club. We got a full field, T65 and ties. Make it into the weekend. What do you got for some past event history?
Yeah, it's been played here for a long time. Last year, Peter Malnati was the champion, 12 under, 2 shots over Cam Young. 2023 was Taylor Moore, 10 under, 1 shot over Adam Schenk. 2022 was Sam Burns for the second time in a row, 17 under in a playoff over Davis Riley. The year before, he was 17 under, 3 shots over Keegan Bradley. 2020 was canceled. 2019 was Paul Casey back-to-back. Adam Hadwin, past champion. Jordan Spieth, who's not in the field. Oh, he is in the field.
He is in the field,
past champion in 2015. That's about all we probably really need to know. Woodland won this in 2011, but I'm not sure if he's playing either.
Yeah, I didn't see his name unless he's way down the board. Okay, sorry. You mentioned Spieth. I got to
bring this
up. Okay, I got to bring Spieth up before we go on any farther.
Sure.
The dude was such must-see TV both days. Both days. Like I'd get home from work because it was raining, so I'd watch a lot on TV when I was in my office here. And like on Friday, hitting the shot left-handed out of the shit. And then like it was Thursday, there's like if you went and just looked on the app, the shot tracker, just where he was at, that dude was a roller coaster of emotions this week.
Yeah.
Full Spieth.
Yeah, I mean, shoots 70, 71, 73, 78.
Yeah. I think on Thursday on the front 9, he'd have like 2 eagles, 2 doubles, that's crazy.
Yeah, his front 9 on Thursday was nuts. But it was the full Spieth experience. One thing we didn't talk about it too was Minwoo and Akshay being over in the range and doing Spieth drops on Saturday. I don't know if you saw that or not.
No, I did not.
20 minutes to play this hole, and they were like hit it in the jungle, and they're dropping on the range, and then Bones is like, I have no idea how far this is, and they don't either. And they, I mean, it was after that, Minwoo was done. Akshay was able to bounce back, but just a bizarre scene, and I mean, very Spieth-esque from I mean, like the dude, I don't understand how he's such a bad driver of the golf ball sometimes.
That's what gets me. Like he's won at this tournament, so I'll transition that into the course preview here. Like where this is like he's the prototypical like what the heck happened here and how did he pull it off?
2015 though, he was playing
that's a lot
pretty good golf.
A lot better than that's true, but like it's Copperhead. It's a Copperhead course, Innisbrook Country Club. where we're going here. And they call it Copperhead Course at Innisbrook Resort. Sorry, but it's in Florida, so another Florida course here. But unlike what we've seen lately, it's kind of where other courses are kind of open. You got your pine straws, and with the API and the players with all the water in play, all that kind of stuff. We head to Valspar at Innisbrook here, Copperhead, and it's a par 71, 7,350-yard golf course, which got 4 par 5s and 3 par 3s, which is usually flipped around on a par 71. So that's a little interesting as well. So you still get the 4 par 5s, which is great to see. It's been lengthened a little bit in the last couple of years through renovations, but the biggest thing about Copperhead, which we know because we've seen this course many times, is unlike the last couple courses. It's a very tree-lined golf course, lots of dog legs. So similar to the API and the players, you still need to be good off the tee and hit your spots, and then your approach game is still very important. That's a key to Florida golf for the most part. But with Copperhead here, is the trees come into play so much that you could get in a lot of trouble if you're out of whack. Where the players, you saw the pine straw, like I mentioned in some other places, they can wiggle around, or you're in a bunker because you're off the fairway, but you get a good fairway bunker lie type deal, and you can make things work. Here, you might get in the trees, and now you're chipping just directly across from you to get out of there, stuff like that. So that changes things here. So off the tee is important. Thus, how did Georgia Spieth win here? 2015 is the only reason. Because if the guy that we saw last weekend shows up here, oh boy, that's going to be a sight to see. So you got to be very accurate. You don't have to be. You should be very accurate off the tee. Approach game's important. The greens are relatively small, also compared. Like they're not pebble small, but relatively small. You get your Bermuda like you do through most of the south here. A little bit of ryegrass as well. You do have water in play on 9 holes, but I think you got to be a little more wayward to get involved in the water here at Copperhead. There's sand everywhere. There's 74 bunkers on the golf course, so you need to have good scrambling skills. Like Jesse mentioned, the scores here, it's not going to be a birdie fest. So just saving par, bogey avoidance will be big. And then everyone's going to talk about the snake pick 16, 17, and 18, which are extremely challenging golf holes that will make for a phenomenal finish. Let's put it that way. If things are tight, just like the players did. 16, 17, 18 was a great finish there as well. So it's a typical Florida course outside the fact that water's not as much in play, and the trees make, to me, accuracy much more important. And it's kind of like it's a long course, but it's not a driver course due to the driving accuracy necessary. What kind of stats are you looking at?
Yeah, I think you did a great job there. Par 5 scoring matters this week, bogey avoidance, and then there's plenty of course history to wait.
Lots of course history, and I think I'm going to kind of roll with that on this one, honestly. I do want current form, but I think course history tells me guys are comfortable here, does help, but we'll see. I'll probably completely ignore that as we get farther into the show here. Let's get to it. DK this week. We have actually a really good field considering we just had an elevated event. We just had the Players, which was basically an elevated event on crack. And then we get the Houston Open, I think, next week, and then the Masters. We're shortly there. No, Masters is like 3 weeks away. So we got some time there. But I figured a lot of guys would take the week off, personally. They did not. 4 guys over 10K. You got JT at 10.8, who literally shoots an 80 and then ties the course record to make the cut of the Players. Another thing we didn't talk about. Holy crap. Xander Schauffele at 10.5, Tommy Fleetwood at 10.3, and Sepp at 10,000, who was my one and done play and forgot how to play golf on Sunday. Who you liking in this range?
Yeah, I mean, all 4 are definitely playable. JT's interesting because, like you said, he shoots 78 Thursday, 62 on Friday to make the cut. He had like a 3% chance of making the cut when he started the round. And then 73 the next 2 days. So really one good round. And he finishes 33rd. So yeah, I mean, it's usually a lot of times when these guys shoot these really low rounds, it's very difficult to back it up. Don't get me wrong, but it means that they are finding something, or they're I don't know. A lot of times I think they're on a precipice of a win whenever you shoot a really low round like that. So I think JT is playable. I don't know where Xander's at as far as. Plus, JT's made the cut at this golf course 4 straight years, 64th last year, so not great. But before that, he had 3 straight top 13s. Xander, is he still hurt? I don't really know.
I don't
He
know
finished his
either.
72nd last week. He has good course history, 5th and 12th in his 2 starts at this event. I think I'm going to probably just love Fleetwood. 3rd and 16th in 2 starts here, 23 and 22, 14th, 11th, 5th in his last 3 starts on tour, which are all like elevated, much better fields than this, tough golf courses. Why would you not play Fleetwood?
Yeah, I'm not opposed to it. I guess if the why wouldn't you play Fleetwood? I'll give you the one answer. He doesn't win.
Yeah, it doesn't win. I
Like
get that. Yeah, I get that.
that's like my only, like, I love everything else you mentioned. 1,000% agree. He's 5th in my model over the last 24 rounds. He's 1st in good drives. Just talked about that. He's 7th in approach in this field, 6th in tee to green, 4th in bogey avoidance. Basically everything you want of this golf course,
Sure.
Tommy fits. So, and he's coming in great form. So I agree with everything he said. It's just at 10-3, do we want the winner? Do we need the winner? Probably. That's the only conundrum that would fight Fleetwood. Other than that, 1,000% agree with playing Tommy Fleetwood, and I will have a few shares. I'm not saying don't play him, but that'd be my only, like, if I had to play devil's advocate on Tommy Fleetwood. Sepp Straka at 10K, I love. I'm like, the price tag, I think, is going to scare a lot of people off, to be honest, and I'm here for that. He's 3rd in my model, 8th in approach, 5th in good drives, 7th tee to green, 12th bogey avoidance, 6th on the par fives. He rates out phenomenally. Just like, again, he's 3rd and Tommy's 5th in my model. So Sepp, outside of a bad Sunday, was had another great week at the Players. He's playing phenomenal golf right now. He's 14th last week, 5th at the API, 11th at the Cognizant. So coming into form in Florida. History here is not great. Miscut last year. Then in 2019, he finished 46th. So if you want to go that angle, that's fine. But I think he comes in super low owned. So I love some Sepp this week. Zero problems with Tommy. And I'm probably just going to avoid JT or Xander. If I had to pick one, I'd take JT just because I don't know if Xander's there yet. I could be wrong. I think he could show up at any week. But I'll pass on that and give me Fleetwood or Straka and then jump into the 9K range. Speaking of the 9K range, you got Sam Burns, who used to own this place. Corey Connors at 96. Ash K withdrew. Shane Lowry at 94. Willie Z at 93. Tom Kim at 92. There's Spieth at 91. Alex Smalley at 9K. Before you go, just want to another joke at Spieth here, just to show how out of whack his golf game is, but still he somehow competes. He's 97th in my model. But but it just makes me laugh. But who you got in this range?
It's because his short game is so good. Corey Connors at 9,600, 22nd or 21st year in 2021, which was his only start. 6th and 3rd in his last 2 starts, was just the Players and the API. I mean, if you think about like ball strikers and courses like this where the score is not going to be 20 something under, Corey Connors definitely fits the mold. Shane Lowry at 94. He's 2 out of 2 made cuts here, 12th and 49th in his 2 starts. 20th last week, 7th at the API. So playing some solid golf coming in. Zalatoris, I mean, I don't know. I mean, he has one bad round last week and finishes 30th. So shoots 78 on Saturday. It was windy. He had one really god-awful hole. I mean, he was in contention and just fell off the side of the map. I don't know if you saw his scorecard or not on Saturday.
I heard about it, yeah.
But I mean, so 30th, 22nd, 24th coming in. I mean, it's not like he's missing cuts, playing all these elevated events and making cuts, finishing kind of, in the inside the top 30. So it's not terrible. And then, I mean, I've got him checked off, Jordan Spieth.
I don't fault anybody for doing it because he is the total wild card that would prove us all wrong.
Miscut last year, 3rd in 23, and then go back to 2000. He had a 5-year gap there. 2018 miscut, 18th and 16, 1 and 15. I mean, the course history is mixed, especially more recently, but he does have some success here in the 3rd place finish in 23. Obviously the tee ball is a major issue, but I mean, at 9,100, I would be willing, if I was playing 150 lineups, to put Jordan Spieth on a few.
And you know what's crazy? The tee ball is wild, but he's 39th in this field in good drives. So it's not like he's not even below average. Like, he's still sitting okay. It's essentially his scrambling's actually been horrible, ironically, and putting in this field, which is very strange, or this whole system is broken, one of the two. But yeah, I don't hate it. Like, I get it with Spieth. Just don't put him in a cash lineup is all I would say. Just don't do that. I love Connors, 1,000% with you on that one. I think he's going to be very chalky. Played great last week, plays well here. Perfect type of setup for him. Shane Lowry, he's fourth in my model, $9,400. I just keep playing Shane. I'm a sucker for this, but I'm a sucker for Shane at low-scoring events, and that's what this is. He's fifth in approach over the last 24 rounds, fifth from tee to green, 13th in scrambling, 14th bogey avoidance. He's basically a poor man's Fleetwood. Like, he might not ever win again, but he's going to, hang around, should do his thing for the most part. He had a horrible Saturday at the Players, which a lot of people did with that weather. I'm with you at Willie Z. I have him checked off 11th in my model. He's, as weird as the finishes have been, Jesse, he's 15th in approach over the last 24 rounds. He's 17th from like 175 to 200. He's 13th on the par 5 scoring. His putting and his around the green game is what's killing him right now, and that could hopefully tweak, and he's good to go. So I don't hate that in tournaments either. And then I'll check off Alex Smalley if you just want to run the hot hand out there with Smalley coming in with that 14th at the Players. Obviously, kind of went bye-bye towards the end on Sunday, but it was 18th at the Cognizant, 10th at the Mexico Open. So none of the other elevated events, but he's put some good rounds in together. And miscut here last year, 27th, miscut the year before. So event history, not great, but 26 in the model. And if you look, he's fifth around the green, first scrambling, 14th tee to green, third in bogey avoidance. It's his proximity bucket from 175 to 200, which crushes his entire ranking for me. But I think he could be a nice one at 9K that I think most might go to Spieth or the guy below him. So he might get some cheaper, Alex Smalley. 8K range, the guy below him, Michael Kim, $8,900, was so cheap last week and missed the cut. Lucas Glover, 88, Poston, 87, Taylor Moore, 86. Clanton is back after winning another tournament at college, $8,500. Vic Hovland at 84, he is broken. Adam Scott, means he's going to win now that I said that out loud. Adam Scott, 83, Binion, 82, Knapp, 81, and Cam Young, 8,000. What are you doing in the 8K range?
Yeah, this is it's kind of a mixed bag here. Michael Kim, 8,900. I like him coming off the miscut. He's made the last two cuts at this event, 33rd and 45th, and he's playing much better golf than he was last year or the year before coming into this event. He shoots 75 on Thursday last week and backs it up with the 69 to just miss the cut. So I like going back to Michael Kim. Lucas Glover, he's an enigma to me. I never get him right, but and I always feel like anytime he has a good finish, he immediately has a bad finish, which was true. AT&T finished third, then missed the cut in Phoenix. But if you go back to the fall, 2 straight top threes. So, it's possible. And obviously if you're want a guy who's great tee to green, Lucas Glover is great tee to green, generally speaking. I've got Hovland checked off, man. I mean, 33rd and 3rd in his 2 starts here. Now that was 22 and 21. That was a different Vic Hovland. The weird thing about Vic is so last week he shoots 80 the first day, backs it up with a 68. At the API, he missed the cut, obviously. Missed the cut at the API too, and shoots 77, 72. He's just getting off to bad starts. I don't know if that's something mental for him or what, but at this price, I would be willing to take a couple chances with him on some lineups. Jake Knapp is interesting because you don't think when we thought Jake Knapp, we thought Mexico Open wide open, just blast it, go find it, and then knock it on the green, try to make a putt. But the last 2 weeks, 12th and 6th, which is pretty incredible. He's playing really, really, really good golf right now. And he's never played here, but I think he's playable. I never get Cam Young right. I've got him checked off, but I don't know. I'm just going to go ahead and uncheck him. You tell me if we play Cam Young or not.
Oh, I don't ever play Cam Young. I don't think.
Okay,
at least
cool.
not for a long time. I haven't.
He has this insane following on Twitter that just bet him every single week.
It wasn't so long ago when he was half decent. Everyone's like, he's the next Scotty Scheffler. Look at how good he is and all this stuff. Except he's going the wrong direction right now.
Yeah,
he's 146 in my model, Jesse.
Yeah, he's got 81 on Saturday at the Players. So I don't know. I'm not a huge Cam Young guy believer, but
there's always a handful of guys in a field that's like, okay, if you win, I'll tip my cap, but I'm just not going to play you. And Cam Young's going to be one of them. If he ever figures it out, kudos, congrats. But that just won't be my week. Is how it comes down. 1,000% on Jake Knapp. I'm glad you said what I was going to. If you didn't, I have him 16th in my model. He's 10th in approach. He's 11th in scrambling. He's 8th in bogey avoidance. It's like you mentioned, everyone thinks it's this guy that just bombs stuff, and he does. He's a hell of a driver of the golf ball, but he's just a good player, and this Florida swing has showcased that. So I think at $8,100, that could be a nice one. And I do have Vic checked off as well, Jesse. I've sprinkled him in every week because of his price tags. I know the talent is there somewhere. He hasn't gone full Max Homa just yet, and I would love to see Max Homa come back someday, but you know what I'm trying to say in that regard. Vic's $8,400. He's 14th in my model. He's 6th in approach, 11th in good drives, 5th from 175 to 200. Bogey avoidance, he's 96, but you want to know why his bogey avoidance is bad? He's 140th in scrambling. He's 117th in putting. It's his short game that is crushing him right now.
Yeah.
And this is a course that requires really good tee to green. So if you get off the tee box well, your approach is good. Who knows? Like we might be asking a lot to figure out how to chip and putt, but you mentioned backed up the 80 with the 68. We know the skills are there. Can you do it for 4 rounds? It's the $1 million question. But if you can do it for 3.5 rounds, $8,400, we're going to be money ahead. So yeah, I have no problem like sprinkling that in to a situation. Taylor Moore at 86. He's 50th in my model. He's 10th in good drives. The approach game is kind of iffy. 7th in par fives though. He's still 19th in tee to green, so he's basically maybe not finding fairways, but he's not finding fairways, but he's busting he's finding fairways. Sorry, his putting's atrocious. That's what's killing him is his putting. You look at recent events for Taylor Moore: 33rd at the Players, 42nd at Cognizant, 34th Mexico Open. So nothing crazy there, but history: 12th here last year, won it 2 years ago after a miscut in 2022. So don't mind going back to him. Glover, I'll go back to $8,800. He's 29th in my model. He's doing everything very well except from 175 to 200, but everything else is pretty darn good. And then I'm definitely with you on Michael Kim. I'm assuming because people are smarter now, they will as well, the whole after the cut thing. But even after missing the cut and playing so bad, still second in my model. He's playing that well. $8,900. He's still second around the green. He's 3rd in scrambling, 2nd tee to green. He's still 1st in bogey avoidance and 11th in par 5. So I'll go right back to Michael Kim on that one. All right, 75 to 79. It goes from Yeager at 79, Ben Griffin at 79, all the way down to Gerard and Rasmus Hogard at 75. So who do you like in this range?
Start with Ben Griffin at 79. He's made his only 2 starts at this event. He's made the cut, so that bodes well. He's coming off a miscut, similar to Michael Kim. He was playing really good before that, 45th, 4th, 44th. Leading into the Players Championship where he shot 71, 74. So he wasn't super far off. The Gala at 7,100 at this price is very interesting to me. He does tend to spray it quite a bit. So that's a little bit concerning, but 7th here in 2022, 52nd last week, missed the cut the API, had a bunch of made cuts in a row before that. 6th, I think we'll figure it out before too long. Keith Mitchell at 7,800, 3 out of 3 made cuts here. Come off a miscut at the Players. Dietrich, 17th here last year. Back-to-back miscuts for Dietrich. He shot 79 in round 1 last week, but 68 the next on Thursday or Friday. So Bazenhout at 76, 2 out of 2 made cuts, finished 9th here last year. Coming off a miscut at the Players. And Gerard, 7,500. 71, finished 71st in 2023 and 42nd last week. He's going to go under the radar. Nobody's going to play him at this price at 7,500, and he's just kind of a make the cut kind of dude, cash a check kind of guy. So I like Gerard at 75.
I have Gerard checked off as well at 75. He's 40th in my model for many of the same reasons you mentioned. He's good. He's been making cuts, giving you top 30s, might sneak into a top 20. You never know. So I don't hate that at $7,500. A nice stable piece that maybe makes a run this weekend. I have Seabass checked off as well because he's been playing really good golf like before last week, and it feels like, even though I look at his numbers, his approach game is atrocious. His par 5 scoring, he's 149th in this field. It's bad, like real bad. But he keeps getting finishes out there, so don't mind sprinkling him in. Bud Cauley, I'll go back to that. He's 6th in my model, got that medical exemption taken care of last week. He's 8th in tee to green over the last 24 rounds, which is outstanding. Decent at bogey avoidances. He's pretty good around the green as well, so don't hate that. Keith Mitchell, he's 31st in my model. You know, the putter has been his crutch as usual, and he's pretty much just average and everything else. That's why he's 31st in the model. But you look at recent form, miscut at the Players, 42nd at Cognizant. It does not scream play me, play me. But 17th here last year with a 69 in 2021. We know Killer Keith loves that Bermuda when he gets going. And then Ben Griffin, I'm going to keep riding him. I know he's been playing a ton of golf lately. Missed the cut last week, which might help because 45th, 4th, 44th, playing some really strong golf from Ben Griffin. Maybe give him a couple days off. Finished 17th here last year, 45th the year before. Don't mind that. And then I got Jaeger bombs checked off. I was very impressed with Jaeger, the way he started on Thursday, like going for the first round leader at the Players. I did not think he had that in his skill set at that golf course. He finished 20th, missed cut at the API, 6th at Mexico, 44th at Genesis. Like he kind of feels like another Jake Knapp type. Like I just want to bomb it and scramble my butt off to go from there. Didn't play her last year, 27th the year before after back-to-back missed cuts. I think Jaeger's one you can get extremely low owned in this field, and I don't mind taking my chances on that one. Before we go farther, I just want to mention this. I'm making a list here. I may make one lineup in my 20 max that's going to have all these guys we think will be back someday. Spieth, Hovland, Cam, Young, and Tagala. You can fit all four of them in your lineup right now.
Yeah,
and it's one of those, like, no one would be shocked if they have good weeks, but for all of them to have a good week, probably not my cards, but super low is all I'm going to say. I'm going to throw that one together.
Yeah, that's true. That's a good point.
Just making a list as we keep going.
Yeah.
All right, 7K to 7,400. It starts out with Nicholas, Norgard, Muller at 74, Jacob Bridgman, and Horschel and Novak. So 4 guys at 74, all the way down to about 12 guys at 7K, highlighted by Mackenzie Hughes and Thorborn Olesen. Who do you like in this range?
Start at 7,400 with Novak, 17th and 27th in his last 2 starts at this tournament. Come off a miscut last week, 34th Players, miscut Cognizant, 13th Genesis, miscut Phoenix, 13th AT&T. I mean, he's just completely up and down. But if you like patterns, should be a made cut this week based on those starts, and he likes the place. Højgaard at 7,300. He's never played here. He's coming off a miscut last week, but 18th and 8th in his 2 starts before that. Matt Wallace, 7,200. 17th and 7th the last 2 years at this event. His last event that he played was Puerto Rico. He finished 26th. For that, he missed 2 straight cuts. 44th miscut. It's Matt Wallace. And then Bramlett at 7,100. He's 4 out of 4 made cuts at this tournament. His best finish was last year at 17th. Finished 17th. He's coming off a 3rd place finish in Puerto Rico, which was the opposite of field event to the API. He did miss the cut at the Farmers, but before that had made 6 straight cuts. So Bramlett would be the last guy that I'm looking at in this range.
Yeah, I'm with you on Novak, 48th in my model. He needs to find the fairway. If he can do that, he's going to be pretty successful this week, it feels like, so don't mind him. Jacob Bridgman at $7,400, had him last week, and then he fell apart on Saturday. It's a trend with my lineup. But still finished 50th at the Players, 15th at the API, 2nd at the Cognizant, 34th at Mexico. So I'm going to keep riding that Bridgman train. Missed the cut here last year in his debut. Novak was 17th and 27. Billy Ho finished 12th here if you're into that kind of thing. But a couple other guys, $7,300. Joe Highsmith, he's coming in ranked 12th in my model. His scrambling is not great at all, but everything else his putter is very good. His approach game, he's 24th in the field. His 175 to 200, he's 4th in the field. He's 20th on the par 5s. He won a few weeks ago. If you want to go that train. The number 1 player in my model, I had pretty much this guy and Ludwig Aubert in all of my lineups last week, and that went well. Nikolai Højgaard is first in my model. His he's around the green game is not ideal, given he's 26 in scrambling, but his strokes gained around the green 92nd. But he's 2nd in approach, 20th in good drives. He's 2nd from 175 to 200. He's 6th from 200 to 225 on those par 3s, which you need. He's 7th in bogey avoidance. He just has basically great iron play, is what it comes down to. So Nikolai Højgaard at 73, I'll go right back to that train. I've been playing him every week. Last week, like I said, not great at all with the missed cut, but he was 18th at the Cognizant, 8th at the Mexico Open. He was playing really well in Europe too. So give me some Nikolai Højgaard. Max McGreevy is 28th in my model. He's at $7,200. He's 20th at the Players, 40th at the API, 4th Cognizant, 25th at Mexico. So he's coming in really good form. Kevin Roy is 13th in my model. Another guy playing well. He's played well here in the past, so I wouldn't hate on that. I have Bramlett as well. He's 20th in my model. Not to mention the 4 straight made cuts here. As you mentioned, he's 4th in tee to green and 6th and around the green here. So that'll help as well. And then we got to go to went 6 under on Friday to make the cut. Joel Dahmen at $7,000. He is 15th in my model. Joel Dahmen finished 54th last week, 32nd at the Cognizant, 6th at the Mexico Open. A little deeper on Joel. He's made at least 4 straight cuts here. 49th, 61st, 39th, 30th. So not like elite finishes, but making cuts at 7K. I will definitely have my share of Joel Dahmen once again this week and ready to sweat it out on Friday. All right, 6K range. Who you liking?
Adam Schenk, just pure course history, semi decent form coming in, but second here 2 years ago, 33rd last year. Danny Walker was this kid, 6,900 now. He's played Sawgrass over 100 times, and maybe that's why.
I played my home course 100 times, and I don't think I'm winning a golf tournament anytime soon.
Yeah, but I mean,
get what he's saying. I get it. Yes. Yes.
I mean, 4 straight made cuts for the guy. He's never played at this particular golf tournament. Chandler Phillips at 6,700, third here last year. Rio 6,600, never played here, but 18th his last start, which was Puerto Rico. Van Wyck. Man, I don't know. He's had 1 start on my list here, and he's at 6,400. He finished 4th at Puerto Rico. Noah Goodwin, 6,300. 12th Puerto Rico, 49th Mexico, 63rd Farmers. Never played here, so good luck if you are down there.
Yes, good luck. I kind of just stopped scrolling after a while, but Andrew Putnam at 69. He's 9th in my model. He's 2nd in the field in good drives, 13th strokes gained around the green, 1st in the par 3s, 200 to 225, and 5th in bogey avoidance, which I like to see down here in this range. Not to mention, where is Putnam? I just had him here. He missed the cut at the Players, but 11th at the Cognizant, 49th at Mexico Open. And past history, though, 3 straight missed cuts here. So pick your poison. Form is really good right now with Putnam. Has not played too well here before, but the tools rate out pretty good. Chan Kim is 6,900 this week, and he's another guy. If you look at him, miscut at the Players at 16th to Puerto Rico, 32nd Cognizant, 17th to Mexico. So played really well in the alt events. Keep that in mind, but showed decent form there. Finished 67th here last year. Danny Walker, Adam Schenk for the reasons you mentioned. Matty Schmid and Grayson Sigg are 2 guys I wouldn't mind at 68. If you're down here, Schmid finished 17th here last year with the miscut the year before. Sigg's made 3 straight made cuts here, 45th, 57th, 48th. Matthew McCarty is another one at $6,700 that I was looking at. Finished 20th at the Players, 48th at the Cognizant, 63rd at the Mexico Open. Has never played here before, at least not that I have on record. And then KH Lee has made 3 straight cuts here, including a 9th, a 19th the last 2 years. Recent form is not great. He's missed 4 straight cuts, so that's only if you're like really desperate at $6,200 and you really want to trust course history. Is all I'm going to say on that one. But that's like pure desperation mode. All right, recapping things for the week here. Jesse, top play 10K and above.
I'm gonna say Fleetwood.
We'll go Straka, 9K range.
I'll say Corey Connors.
Yes. So you got Connors. I'll take Willie Z. No, I'll follow my model. Shane Lowry. All right, 8K range.
I'm gonna say Michael Kim.
Yep. You're gonna go Michael Kim. I will go with Jake Knapp. 75 to 79.
Thigala.
Yeah, it's gonna be an interesting week for Thiegs. Looking forward to seeing that. I'll go with Bud Cauley. 7K to 74.
Bramlett.
Nikolai Hogard. Please figure it out this week. 6K range.
Schenk.
Andrew Putnam for me. All right, if you're playing cash this week, Jesse, where are you starting things out?
That's a great question. I'd probably go Lowry, Ben Griffin, Keith Mitchell.
Yeah, I go Lowry. Weirdly enough, probably Lucas Glover. Just feels kind of safe these days. I don't know if he wins, but he feels safe. Probably never the right thing to say in golf. And give me Billy Ho if you're gonna go with cash. Like boring, but could get it done. Tournaments though, where are you looking?
Fleetwood, Jake Knapp, and Bramlett.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Sepp Straka, Michael Kim, and Jake Knapp as well. I think Knapp's. I really don't think he's gonna be widely owned, but I could be misreading that completely. All right, who you got winning this thing? Odds are, kind of better this week.
Yeah. I mean, at least we're starting at 14-1 instead of 4-1. I got Shane Lowry at 25-1.
I like it.
Kim and Glover at 40-1, and then Jake Knapp at 50-1.
All right, looking at some top 20s here. If you do believe in Seabez, like we talked about, he's plus 300 to top 20. Nikolai Hogard, who I always believe in, he's plus 350 to top 20. I would sprinkle that. And if you want some like longer shots, it gets real interesting back here. And I don't really like much. Bramlett maybe at plus 450, but I think, let's look at the top 30 odds here real quick and scroll down to these bad boys at the bottom. Yeah, you got some good numbers here now. Joel Dahlman, the top 30, plus 240. Don't hate that. Bramlett, plus 260 for the way he's played at this golf course. I didn't even get to Cam Davis. He could be interesting this week. If you like Adam Shank's course history, he's plus 300 to top 30. Danny Walker's plus 300 as well if you want to run that track back. So I think the top 30 market, really enough, is kind of interesting this week. All right. I'm going to wrap it up there, my friend. Any final thoughts before we head on out of here?
I don't. 3 weeks till the Masters. That's all that matters, really.
Darn close. Houston Open next week, then the Valero. So I'm guessing Houston's not going to have the biggest field that we're looking forward to next week.
Those next two tournaments are going to be really weak.
Yeah, I think Scotty agreed to the Valero. I think Ludwig did the Valero. A couple guys ramping up for the Masters, but I'm guessing, like I said at the start of the show, the fact we've got so many from API players and decent field this week,
right?
I think Houston's gonna be a little rough around the edges next week. So
yeah,
we'll have you guys covered there and much more. But until then, make sure you follow Jesse on Twitter at DFS Golf Gods, the podcast at Always Press DFS. I am at BDentric, and for now, this is your 2025 Valspar Championship preview. Catch you all next time.